Welcome to the example problem we have on unit vectors. There's two ways that we're going to talk about unit vectors in this problem. One is we're going to take a vector which is expressed in terms of the magnitude of that vector, in this case being a velocity vector, which has a speed of 14 meters per second, and the direction of that vector, which is 35 degrees counterclockwise from the positive x-axis, and we are going to express that vector in unit vector notation. So that's the first part. The second part was we'll also find the associated unit vector v hat that points in the direction of v but has magnitude of 1. Okay, so first off, let's go through and find the vector v. The vector v is just going to be vx plus vy j hat. Now, when we go ahead and do this, find something in unit vector notation, it's sort of a different notation in which you're just expressing the components. Now, the x component of this vector is the horizontal part, and the y component is the vertical part. Just using basic trigonometry, I know that vx is the magnitude v times cosine of theta, or this angle right here is theta, and vy is v sine of theta, where v is this 14 meters per second. So if I just plug in 14 meters per second cosine of 35 degrees I hat plus 14 meters per second times sine of 35 degrees j hat. When I plug in, I get 11.5 meters per second I hat plus 8 meters per second j hat. So that's my velocity vector in unit vector notation. Now for the unit vector, it's always easy to find a unit vector that points in the same direction as the original vector by just taking that original vector and dividing it by the magnitude. And here that's actually quite simple. I just take my original vector, 11.5 meters per second I hat plus 8 meters per second j hat, and the magnitude is 14 meters per second. And then when I just do that division, I get 0.819 I hat plus 0.574 j hat. The unit vector shouldn't have any units because by definition it has magnitude 1 without any units. And the regular vector should have units, and whatever units that type of vector has, like in this case velocity vectors have meters per second and SI units and so forth and so on. But unit vectors always have no units by themselves.